Hey, this is Matt once again. What about another video? Another paid request, this time from DarkMetalSpider. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in YouTube requests pretty much any type of videos, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box under any of these videos. Now, this is something called Blobermouth, which I had never heard of this before, and I thought, is this some kind of YouTube thing? But no, this was an official thing in 1991 from, I guess, this group called the LA Connection, where they did these shows, and kind of like what Woody Allen did with, I think, What's Up, Tiger Lily, I believe the name is, or there's this film I love called Kung Pao Enter the Fist. I wish they had a Blu-ray, where they take an older film and they mess with it to make it into much more of a comedy. In this case, this is the 50s version of the Blob. Now, real quick, I'm not a fan of the 50s Blob movie. Now, of those 1950s movies, I love The Thing from Another World from the 50s. I really enjoy Them, the Big Killer Ant movie. I could deal with The Fly for what it is, but the Blob just was very boring. I always thought it was very boring. I much prefer the remake. Well, you just don't like 50. I just told you 1950s movies I enjoy, and there are others as well. You know, I enjoy before that, Three Stooges and Abbott and Costello and Dracula, Frankenstein. That's before the 50s, of course. So I don't have issues with older films, but the Blob just, other than Steve McQueen being the lead, there's really not much to it. I thought the Blob remake in 1988 knocked out of the park in every single way possible. Not just effects, but characters, writing, excitement, thrills, humor. The Blob remake is literally one of my favorite films of all time. I have the Blu-ray up there. Underrated film. The 1988 Blob film. But again, this is pretty much these guys, the LA Connection, took the 50s movie and they redubbed the whole thing, and they which I guess is the Blob public domain? I guess maybe it is, because sometimes I would see in those like 50-cent DVD packs. But at the same time, I know like Criterion, I believe, got it and were able to release this. I don't know how that all works. So they redubbed the film to make it more of a comedy. Other people talked throughout the words of Steve McQueen and the other people. They add in effects like the Blob. They put these animated lips on there, and they changed the story where the Blob's not killing people. The Blob is a bad comedian who wants to join Steve's one-man show, and pretty much Steve is trying to stop the Blob from get on his one-man show, and by the end of the film, the Blob's going to go on Johnny Carson, and Steve is pissed that his one-man show failed. I will say that the idea and the way it began was kind of funny. It's an interesting idea. And I will say, watching it, I did get some chuckles out of it. I do think at times it does outwear its welcome, and I don't think I would ever see the film again. But I would say this, if you like Mystery Science Theater 3000 type of stuff, if you're like me and not much into the Blob, but you want to see someone take a little bit of the piss out of it, it's on YouTube for free, and it is called Blobermouth. It was an interesting watch, I will say. It was very interesting. This is one of the things that's good about getting these requests, is to know about stuff I'd never heard of before, and it was at least worth one watch for me. Like, one girl's named Jane, but he keeps calling her Vaccine. But my name's Jane. That's not what I read on the bathroom wall. And like I said, there are times that it did chuckles out of me. Like the old man, they voice him as if he was Lloyd Bridges playing Elmer Fudd. Like I said, the Blob, the fact they put these like animated lips on him and make him a comedian, I thought, okay, that's a interesting idea. I will say there are moments that did make. That's what I mean. Like when it started, I'm like, okay, this is kind of fairly chuckle-worthy. Like when Steve McQueen's character and the girl are driving, that's the bit where they don't accidentally hit the old man, but the way they word the characters is, hey, 5 points for the old man. Oh no, we hit Lloyd Bridges. Oh, what about Bo and Jeff? Well, we'll cross those bridges when we get to them. Or in the movie, it mimics someone in pain. So before people in the dialogue say, don't step on that bear trap, I told you not to step on that. Or the doctor's going to give a shot to something, but they worded like the doctor's a drug addict with speed. I wrote a taste of speedball. Oh, I accidentally gave you the speedball. What? Or they make fun of the fact that Steve McQueen puts his hands in his pockets. And it's like, why do you keep putting your hands in your pockets? No one else will. Or how the cinematography sometimes wasn't the best, so sometimes when the darkness, people's heads will disappear because they'll walk in, and then because the lighting wasn't the best, their head is gone, and then someone's like, where's my head? Where'd my head go? Oh boy, man, I was scared for a second. Another thing I liked is this kind of running gag where Steve likes to say, this is bullshit. Like they have a scene where in the movie he sneaks out of his parents' home. He's in the upstairs. He goes down, but he's like the door opens to see if the parents are checking in on him. But the way the dialogue words it, as if he's asleep in the kitchen, and that when the light coming through is the fridge door opening. It's like, man, I need not have my room in the kitchen. This is bullshit. And man, I don't have a door to my room. I just have a window. This is bullshit. And man, I gotta jump down. There should be a front door and stairs. This is bullshit. And then he jumps down and turns, wait a minute. There is a stairs. There is a door. Huh. Trying to be Steve such a dumb character. They call the sheriff Andy Taylor. And there's this one girl they call Aunt B. There's a doctor, and he's looking at a door, and the door has like a big window, but the way they word it, because they made it seem as if he was Clark Kent because of the way he was dressed. And he's like, what the fuck? I just see through that wall. Maybe I am Superman. And the music tries to do a Superman theme, but not enough so they don't get sued. I do think it was a bit weird that there's a little boy in the movie, the way they worded, I thought it was a bit kind of creepy. I get what the joke was, but that the little boy was actually 45 years old, and I get the joke, but call me a prude or not, but still you put in dialogue where the husband, 45-year-old who looks like this little boy, wants to have sex with his wife, who is Steve McQueen's girlfriend. And I don't know, maybe I'm just being a prude, but just, at least they say that, yes, they say it's supposed to be a 45-year-old, but he looks like a little boy. And they have it voiced by a guy. So I get the joke. Maybe I just didn't think it was as funny as they thought it was. Or maybe because in this shitty world of today, it just reminds me of other bullshit. The Blob at times got on my nerves, as he purposely, it's supposed to, because it keeps telling these bad jokes. I thought for a few minutes it goes, Mashugana, oh hey buddy. So I will say he did get a little bit on my nerves. And that's what I mean, like, for the first half, I'm like, okay, this is kind of a fun novelty. Like I said, it did outstay its welcome as it kept going. Like at the end, there's like this sing-along, and they even put text on the bottom. Let's thank the Pope for making it come through tonight. But even then, I mean, there were still some fun moments. Like in the movie, they have to push a car out because they don't want people to hear it. But by the dub, they say, there's no gas in this. Yeah, well, because it's great for the mileage. And the lady's like, okay, I'm going to make some car noises. Vroom, 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 vroom. And then she makes a noise of a brake. And then the car stopped, and then Steve McQueen looks over, and they dub is like, you made the brake noises. Now we can't move. You fucked up this time. Okay, like I said, at least it... Sadly enough, this still gave me more chuckles than a lot of comedies today. So I'll give it that. So I guess it depends how you feel about the novelty, how you feel about the idea. I do think it's worth one watch for people that if the novelty at all interests you. If you're a fan of the original Blob, or if you don't like the original Blob, you may not laugh at every joke. Let's say when it got to the third act, it kind of outwore a bit of its welcome. But I will say, I do think there's enough chuckles out there to be entertained, at the very least as a one-time watch. And I do like they actually tried to... It wasn't just a dub. They do try to... I wish they did more of messing with the visuals. Did they do a little bit? Like when the theme lands at the beginning, they had like a bunch of lasers coming out of it. There's a bit in the store where Steve McQueen puts the girl by the side, but it's by electrical panel. So they add a bunch of like electricity frying her, and she's making these sounds. Oh. I think the animated lips on the Blob. I wish they did a bit more of those visuals. Maybe they didn't have the budget, but I wish we could see a lot more of those visuals. Crazy visuals. But they do have some. But I think visually there's a lot more they could have done with that. And if they wanted to add like some weird like cartoons like of the Blob, like just add like a cartoon of the Blob doing some crazy weird things. But you know, for something I'd never heard of, it was definitely interesting and kind of cute to watch. Like I said, not all the jokes work, and I don't know. I mean, maybe it'd be one of those that you don't like anything about it, but like I said, I thought it was worth at least one watch. So it's cool to see stuff like this, to find out about stuff like this, thanks to people like DarkMetalSpider. I'm like, okay. And my neighbor's Rooster agrees. He gives his approval. 2 roars up. Or what the fuck he's doing. Asshole. Shut up. Quiet. But yeah, Blobermouth, I think this is like DarkMetalSpider's like one of his favorite films ever. I mean, that's not the case for me, but I didn't grow up with it. This is my first time watching it. But I would say... Shut up. Quiet. I would say it was definitely... At the very least, is a one-time watch. I think there are people that would get a kick out of it. Again, I thought it was funny enough. Like I said, the third act kind of got a bit old at that point, but... interesting nonetheless. And yeah, it's on YouTube, because I don't know how else. I guess maybe it was on VHS, because I really doubt this would ever get a DVD. So, hey, with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.